What up? It's the sports mix. Big Kenny is in the building. Got my guy Dino with me. What's up, my brother?
Sir, sir, yes, sir.
What's going on, man? How you feeling?
Yeah, man, pretty good. Uh, we got a playoff team in Baltimore. I like that.
Are they in the playoffs?
Yeah,
Man, you read the read the the blogs in the comments, boy. You think we try and get the number one pick out this month?
that's yeah. You right about that.
Damn, I mean,
Right
10
about
wins.
that.
10 wins ain't hard, easy to come by. But
Yeah, especially when your all world players out injured.
yeah, it's this tough town. It's a tough town,
Yeah,
man. They, tough audience.
historically pretty tough.
Yeah, it's like we in front of the Apollo crowd, and the Sandman is always ready.
You're always ready to tap dance on somebody's head.
Yeah. So we gonna talk uh, little Ravens, little playoffs. Uh, First off, we want just send a shout out to young fella from Buffalo, Damar Hamlin, released from the hospital. I believe it was yesterday. Was it yesterday or Sunday? Uh, Released from the hospital, back home in Buffalo now, getting treatment. And from a week ago, that's a great sign to see the young fella, man. To be able to get back home. Um, we talked about it on the last show, just how horrific that incident was. So I'm glad to see that he made it back home, and hopefully he has a full recovery. Where he's able to, have good quality of life. Ain't really worry about football too much. I'm sure at some point he'll want to revisit that, but right now, just hopefully that he, just able to have a good quality of life and a long life. So, did you have any thoughts on that before we
Yeah, I
move?
mean, I think you pretty much nailed it. It's kind of funny how tragedy a lot of times can be a huge factor in bringing people together, and I think that's exactly what happened in his case. The chilling incident of him laying on the field, getting his,
Mm-hmm.
his chest pumped. I think everybody saw it. You saw the fans, you saw the players. I mean, as long as that thing went,
Yeah.
at a certain time, you didn't even really see any difference. And to me, the uniforms dissolved. It was like it was just players out there
Yep.
worrying about the guy, and that part of it, man, was pretty good to see. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, shout out to Damar, shout out to Buffalo, Cincinnati, the fans, everybody, man, the network. I mean, I think they handled that thing as best possible, and even the fans, because they've been loading up on his. I don't know what he got, like a charity or whatever, and
Yeah.
I understand
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah. I heard
boom.
the donations definitely have been through the roof, and so that's good, man. But it's good, and in some ways, it's just kind of it's kind of like, man, why do we wait till a tragedy, before people
Weird.
do deeds and things like that? But got a question. I can't see who asked the question, but it's from somebody on Facebook. Do you think he'll play football again? I really couldn't say at this point. I think it's too early. It's too early to even consider that. You know, um, just you don't know what kind of damage he did to the heart, or may have had and didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
He could have had some previous damage to his heart. So it's just too early to say. I think as far as will he play again. Um, Now that would be a great story would definitely make for a great story, and I could see that becoming a Disney movie, down the road if he was to get back on that field. But yeah, I don't think that's kind of it's too early. I just think it's too early for that.
Wait, if you ask him, he probably say yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I agree, man. That right now that really even shouldn't be a thought. Let's get this guy back up 100%, living his life, being with his family, and then we can talk, football a little bit later for him.
Yeah, I think that'll definitely be part of the discussion, at some point. But just not right now. Nah, that's not even part of the equation.
And I think the other day it was 100% out of the equation whether he was going to play or not.
Yeah.
Although now seemingly he's a lot better than what people thought he would be at this point. So you never say never.
Oh, okay, that's my guy Tonio the paramedic down in Charlotte. What's up, Tonio? Say he don't think he should, but go and look at his contract. So the deal with the contract, Buffalo, I believe they, made an agreement with the NFL and the players union that they would honor the length of his contract. He didn't have a big contract. He wasn't like a big, $1 million guy, multi-million-dollar a year guy. He was, a guy that had to work his way onto the team. And the agreement, which I found to be crazy, especially based off the conversation we had last week, with the fellas, man, with these injuries, that if in his contract, if he was to go on the injuries list, that his contract would go down to like 1/4 or 1/2 of his value, which is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So he'd lose in value if he was to get hurt. And the only reason they did what they did is because of the magnitude of the injury that he suffered. But so that's something that I never even knew was in the player's contract. That I don't know if that's like league wide, where that's in everybody's contract, but the fact that it was in his contract, and then it further show you why, these guys just get out. They try to get out there no matter what they're going through, because it, like everybody's not making $5-6 million a year, but then you got guys that I don't know what his dollar figure was per year, but say he turned his ankle, and he was going to miss the rest of the year, that would have been a big hit to him. So the fact that a player gets hurt and the value of his contract is going to diminish solely based on him being injured. It just go back to what we talked about last week, man. The NFL got they got some hellified lawyers working for them to drop some of these contracts, man. I mean that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. We got brother CB joining us. What's up, my brother?
Hey Cam, what's up, man? What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's up, bro? All right.
So yeah, we were just giving a little update on Damar Hamlin. He was released from the hospital in Cincinnati the other day. He's back in Buffalo getting treatment. But what I talked about, I don't know. Did you see this? That the NFL made an agreement with the league and the players union that they would honor his contract.
Yeah, I did see something like that.
And then make sure he gets his medical treatment or whatever, that they would take care of that. But the crazy thing to me, all right, so it said he had a 4-year, $3.6 million and a $910,000 guarantee. So the crazy thing was, in his contract, if he was to get injured or placed on injured reserve, the value of his contract would decrease. to, I believe, either a half or a quarter of what the value was. But that goes back to what we talked about last week with guys getting that guaranteed money and the risk that they take. Something like that shouldn't even be in the contract. It's to me, that's criminal. That the league would even sign off on something like that. If you get injured, your contract is no longer worth what you signed for. It's going to be worth a lower number. I mean,
how come it's a lower number because of like some
that's
type
a clause.
of like,
that's just a clause in the contract. That's a clause in the contract, but it just to me, man, that sounds criminal. That sounds now. I never missed significant time from my job, but I know on a regular job, us peasants, if we to go out, you got your sick leave, and you got some jobs like I know the government agencies have the where people could donate sick leave to you and all that kind of stuff. But once you're out of it, you're out of it. And you kind of on your own. So in that aspect, maybe that's what the logic they come with. But again, like we talked about last week, the NFL player, the risk of getting injury is so much greater. They got to have more guarantees in their contracts. I believe.
That's probably why they don't do it.
That's probably 100% why they don't do it. Because they know the risk of guys getting hurt is so great. But I mean, I said it last week. The players got to understand what their real power is. And yeah, it get a little frustrating with fans when they get tired of these guys talking about money. And, you're already getting 10 million. I mean, how many millions you need? But it's not even about getting the million. It's about being fair. Because like I know I said it last week. I never bought a ticket. I've never bought a ticket to see Steve Bisciotti sit in the owner's box. Peter Angelos. I'm not interested in them guys at all.
You mean tell me you ain't buy a ticket to go see Art Modell when he was the owner? Hey.
Nah. not even close. None of them. It's not let me see, maybe some people fake injuries or mental illness, like Ben Simmons getting paid for nothing. He took advantage of the system. Well, he's playing pretty good now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He did what he had to do. He's playing pretty. He playing so well, ain't nobody talking about it.
Yeah.
Until the game is on the line.
Yeah, but ain't well. Speaking of the game on the line, we used to have a segment on the show, and we kind of got away from that. Goddamn Rudy. Where's Rudy?
Yeah, where's Rudy Gobert?
I shared on the group text. I think it was last week when Zion just threw it down on him, man. Just like disrespected him, man.
Yeah,
it was like Gobert. He made a business decision too late.
A little bit too late.
Like you got some players, they make the business decision and they're not even going to try. Like, okay, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Gobert was up in midair and he made a business decision. And by that time, it was too late.
Way too late.
That's the one we.
Yeah. See, when you go like that, man, it's too late. It's too late, man.
We got to bring them Rudy updates back to the show.
Right.
So, CB, that's your assignment. That whenever you come on, we're gonna need a Rudy update.
I just don't see it, man.
I'm sure it's gonna be entertaining.
all the time.
So goddamn Rudy Gobert. How are they doing out there anyway? Minnesota. Are they?
I
they
think
playing good?
I remember the last time I think Cat was he was injured. I think he was out. I think at the time, I think it was about maybe like a month. So he may be in his last week or coming back from injury. And I think Gobert was injured for a little while himself, but I think he's playing. But I think he's playing up. I do remember like early in the season they were struggling a bit, trying to. It seemed like the issue early on in the season was spacing, you know.
I
And
like the young boy Anthony, the little guard that be dunking on people all the time.
somebody noted that Rudy was the starting center for the West All-Star team.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound good for the West.
So, all right, let me ask you about this guy.
You talking about Anthony Edwards?
Yeah, Edwards. Yeah, Edwards. Yeah, I was great looking.
I like his game, man.
Yeah, I like him. He tough.
Mm-hmm.
He got that little nasty to him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
all right,
young.
so you brought up Cat,
Mm-hmm.
Karl Anthony Towns. What
Yeah.
y'all think about that guy? What y'all think about his game?
Never fulfilled his potential. Or hasn't. I shouldn't say never. Hasn't. At least not yet.
Yeah, because he's
up and down.
He made some I think he injured too, right?
Mm-hmm.
He made some statements over the summer, like he should be in the conversation with some of the top centers or big men in the league. Mm-hmm. And I laughed at it, you know. Mm-hmm. To me, you know, he just okay. Mm-hmm. You know, he'll have some big games here and there, but to me, he just okay. He not something, and that seemed to be a thing with I don't know them California
Didn't he win
guys.
some competition at the All-Star competition? Didn't he win something?
What, the skills competition or something?
Some one of the events I think he won or was MVP, not of the All-Star game.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think it was the skills competition.
Could be. And
that
I think that was
when they had like teams or something, like a member from the Timberwolves and the ladies team.
I don't remember the event, but what I do remember is him using that as part of his how can I say? I guess you could say part of his argument that, you know, he should be in that conversation.
He won the 3-point contest?
Maybe that's what it was.
Oh no. Oh my
I think that's what it was, the 3-point contest.
Oh, he thought he was going to be.
And without looking at his stats, I would say he probably had his best season last year, which is not saying a whole lot, it's saying a lot for him.
Yeah.
But no, I see him like that the tier below the elite, like he's not in that that top tier.
Yeah.
At least not yet.
Okay, that was as Neil said, he won the 3-point contest.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I couldn't see the name. So Karl Anthony Towns won the 3-point contest.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. He said he's supposed to be the best out of them Kentucky guys. But
yeah, his numbers, he averaging 20.8 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 5.3 assists this year.
I need what Shaq said. You gotta put that 28 and 15 up. You know.
Yeah.
But maybe he think he a shooting forward or something. Maybe he think he a small forward or something.
He does take a good number of threes. games that I watch. He does, but Embiid does the same thing too.
Yeah, that's the frustrating thought. That's the most frustrating part about watching basketball now is the amount of threes everybody jacking up. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
particularly disturbing when you see the big men doing it.
Yeah, they like big for nothing. Big for nothing.
Giannis and Embiid, and it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, we had
Go home. Your home is in the post.
we had a saying when my man Greg Moses. We had a saying, man. He sees somebody 6'8", 6'9", couldn't make a layup. He's 6'9" for nothing.
Right. Right. Greg Moses, was he Ohio State?
No, that's one of my homeboys.
Oh. Oh no, you know who I'm thinking? I'm thinking
I know you think
Who you thinking?
Greg Ogden.
Ogden.
Odin. Greg Odin.
Yeah. That's who I was.
No, Odin was tough, man. He just had them injuries.
He had injuries. Yeah, he had injuries.
Yeah, he was tough. He was a tough ball player. He just, he couldn't shake that injury bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, that did him, man. But he was tough. He could play.
Mm-hmm.
He could play. He might have been one of the last real post players. Yeah, he could play. Greg Oden.
I liked his game in college, man.
Yeah, he was tough, man.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost the national championship, didn't they?
Yeah, I believe they did.
I can't remember who beat them. I know it was him and Mike Conley was on the team together.
Yeah, Mike
Conley Jr. They was on the team together, and I remember they got to the championship. I can't remember who beat them.
Greg Oden always looked like a grown man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it looked like somebody uncle out that motherfucker.
Right.
Looked like he used to work down the point.
Mm-hmm.
With the boots, like somebody always wore steel toes.
Right.
drove a Lincoln.
Yeah.
Juice in the quarter.
Yeah, he was definitely
So he said, Lori, how you say that guy name? Lori Mc. I can't say the name. I don't want to jack it up.
Didn't this guy just put up 49 a couple of days ago? I think he put up 40. This Lori, whatever the name, on Utah. I think he put up.
for Utah?
I think he put up 49 the other night, not too long ago.
Okay.
I want to say sometime maybe like last week he put up 49.
And he's the guy that's getting Rudy's minutes, correct?
I don't know. I don't know if he plays that spot. I think because he's. I want to say he plays a 4 spot.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he. In fact, I think they're supposed to be playing tonight. Cleveland is supposed to be going to Utah.
I saw a stat this morning that Rudy's and he's getting 30-something minutes a game. He's only averaging 1.5 blocks. And then the guy that at Utah that's kind of coming off the bench, getting like 20-something minutes, getting 1.9 blocks a game. So, it was a little funny meme. I should have saved it. But yeah, we definitely gonna get them Rudy updates back. Rudy was pretty popular here on the Sports Mix. We said we can get him to come on one day.
That'll be funny.
And CB,
he don't want no
CB can interview him.
He don't want no parts of this, man.
I'm shutting my mic off.
He don't want no parts of this, man.
Look, and to get CB going, I'm gonna just start talking about Obama first. get your blood going.
Right.
And then okay. Okay.
Get me all warmed up and shit, right?
Yeah.
You be throwing to the wolves, man. Then.
Yeah, well, yeah, Frenchman, he can handle
Yeah.
He probably can't.
it. All right, so let's move on. So before we get
But
into
I have to tell you this though, man. There's another
yeah.
player who I can't say that I hate on him.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that. But when I hear he has a good game, I'm like, God, like, oh man. Luka.
Oh, Luka's tough.
See?
Luka's tough.
Yeah,
When I tell my son, he was like, yo, man, he a bad boy. And I'm like,
You ain't sold yet?
I'm gonna tell you something, man. When I think it was maybe like a couple of weeks ago, they played the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks was up by, I think, around 13, 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
3 minutes left in the game. We had the game, man. Luka just, I'm sitting here watching it, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? He was shooting it from and he ended with a 50 piece. And then he ended with like 56, 57. He had like a triple double. And then followed it up the next night with I want to say maybe like a 40 piece or something.
Yeah, he's tough. I started watching him. I started really paying attention to him in the bubble. You know, that's when I really got a good look at him. I said, man, this, and even back then, people said I was a little, nah, man, he ain't all this and that. I'm like, all right, I don't know what y'all looking at.
Right.
You know, but that boy is tough, man.
Yeah, he's It's so funny, man, because when I was watching it, I was just like, they're gonna be making comparisons to Larry Bird, man, and they do.
Yeah, but see, he played the game at his own pace.
He does.
You know what I'm saying? And he don't have no speed. You know, he don't have he ain't gonna win a foot race against nobody. You know, he ain't gonna win a foot race against nobody, but man, he's type, like you say, Larry Bird was the type, he just get whatever he wanted. Whatever shot he wanted, he was gonna get it.
Yeah.
You know, if he was going whatever he wanted on the court, he was gonna do it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I see Luka. I don't think he's not the same type of player as Larry Bird, because he handled the ball way more than Larry Bird do. He got the ball in his hand a whole lot. And like Neil said, he slows the team down.
They
can't win it all with his style of play. That's probably true. You know, that you know, just with his style, he demand the ball a lot. And he don't get up and down. But he got to grow up too. You know, he's still a young guy. He been a pro since he was what, 14, 15 or something crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so he came to the league with some experience.
Yeah.
You know, which is huge. You know, he's still a relatively young guy. You know, but I'm not gonna sit here and root for Dallas. I never rooted for Dallas to win nothing. You know, so I'm not gonna get that confused. I like the player, but the team, you know, the hell with the team. You know, and I don't know why I you know what it is about Dallas for me. I just used to hate to see Mark Cuban on the sidelines all the time. You know, that shit used to irritate me. I just wonder, you know, somebody need to throw a no-look pass and bust him in the mouth. Pow! You know, take one for the team. I'm about to make this turnover, and I'm gonna throw a no-look right at his face. Sit your ass down somewhere, man.
Yeah.
But moving on. You know, moving on. So did y'all get an opportunity to watch the fight over the weekend? Tank Davis?
Yeah, I did not.
79. What was it, 79?
Huh?
Well, how much was it, 79?
Oh, I saw it for free.
Oh, nah, I didn't see it. That thing came across my screen. I think it was 79. I said, "Ooh."
Yeah, I wasn't gonna pay that.
No.
I found some. I got some loopholes. I got my ways, and I found it. And I got to watch the Tank. I didn't watch the rest of the fights. I just wanted to see Tank fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was impressed. I was impressed with him, man.
Went 9 rounds, right?
I think they stopped it just before the 9th.
Okay.
I think the damage happened in the 8th, I believe. I could be wrong, but
okay.
He started off slow.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, he was failing out his opponent.
Mm-hmm.
I think he took some shots. I think he felt like, all right, I can take his best shot. Because Shorty got some shots off on Tank. Gus, what's his name? What's his name? Garcia. Yeah, Garcia. He got some shots off on Tank.
David,
sure.
I think.
Yeah, he got some good shots in. He may have won a round or two. I think on the cards, I think they had Tank winning every round. I think it could have went. Some of them earlier rounds could have went either way. But Tank was patient. He didn't come in looking for the kill shot right away. He was failing this guy out 3-4 rounds, and by the 5th, 6th round, you could see him start to get a little more aggressive with him. Kind of like his mentor used to do, Floyd. Floyd almost would give away 3 or 4 rounds every fight, just to fail the guy out, and then he'd shut him out the rest of the way. I mean, just ridiculous like that. So, Tank to me was real impressive. He showed some maturity, in that ring, because he's known as a one-hitter quitter. He's known for the knockout power. And when he at the end of that round, like I said, I don't know if it was the 8th or the 9th, he was teeing off on that kid, man. I mean, bang, bang, bang. And when the bell rung, kid was frozen. He's like, God damn, where do I go? He looked a little wobbly. You could see that on the TV. And his corner was right there. And he almost didn't even know where he was going at. I think the referee kind of.
He said he didn't know where he was at.
Yeah, the referee kind of pushed him over there to his corner. And when they
he said that's how hard Tank hit him.
They had the cameras in his corner in between the round. So he said, I can't see. I can't see. And somebody said, boy, he speak no English till he got hit with that motherfucker. whatever Tank hit him with. he wasn't speaking no English until he got hit with that power. Then he said, boy, I can't see. And then he had a little quote after the fight. So his head was still hurting. After the fight, he said, man, my head is still hurting. I can see a little bit better now, but my head is still hurting. Now I'm looking at Tank. Tank ain't but this tall. You know what I'm saying? He 135 pounds, man. What the hell kind of power do a little guy like that got? That is crazy, man.
That's a lot of damn trauma.
Yes. Goodness gracious, man. But I mean, it was a hell of a turnout, man. They said that was the biggest event that was held at that arena down there. I don't know what it's called now. I keep calling it the MCI Center. Wherever the Wizards play at. But they said Tank's
Capital
One.
Capital
One. They said that was the biggest event ever held at that arena. And they drew the most money for one night event in that arena's history, man. So, like we talked about last week, that was Tank's first time, kind of being on his own as a promoter. It was a big card.
So he's not aligned with no one else. He's doing it himself now.
He's trying to do his own thing now. So that was a huge show for him. To generate the money they had. They said DC, Baltimore, Philly. They said everybody was out. Some stars was in the building. Star started the event, and he gave him a show. he gave him a show. They got what they paid for. So this next fight is supposed to be April the 15th. No wonder they're gonna pick April the 15th, income tax day. And they gonna make a lot of money that night. I think it's supposed to be in Vegas.
That's him and Garcia.
Yeah, him and Ryan Garcia. Ryan already said, he talking trash already, but I think he gonna catch the same fate as everybody else. He gonna be talking about his head hurting, and if he can get up.
Did he have a tune up yet? Is he gonna have a fight before?
Nah,
April?
he said he don't need none. He ready.
Okay.
That could prove to be a big mistake for his ass. But we'll see. Because we got 4 or 5 months to build it up.
How long ago did he fight?
Who, Garcia?
His last fight.
I don't even know.
Gotta ask Cheese.
Yeah, Cheese was working late, so he wasn't sure if he was gonna be a jump on.
Gotcha.
But I think, man, money wise, that's gonna be a huge fight. It's gonna draw a lot of people to Vegas that weekend. The stars are coming. This is probably gonna be his biggest opponent in name and in accomplishment in the ring. This is his biggest opponent. So, we got 4 months to sell it. I'm sure they're gonna sell it. The pay-per-view for that one probably gonna be $85, $90. But we all gonna meet at CB's house to watch that one.
Come on over.
We all chip in. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the next adventure for Tank. I'm proud of what he got accomplished, especially after what he went through the week before. The distraction that he had the week before with the arrest and all that stuff.
I couldn't imagine being his teacher, man.
In school,
man.
You had a room full of them, Brooks.
Man, he's my student, man. I see him in the ring, and I'm like, man, thank goodness he's in the ring, man. Because, oh man,
yeah, you had a room.
I could just picture him. I could just picture him, man, just kicking everybody's ass, and then whoever trying to break up the fight, man. There's because I've seen tapes of Tank when he some time ago, actually before COVID, when he was a young boy. Like he's been boxing for a long time.
Yeah.
And I recently seen a video clip, and I had saw it before, but it just reminded me. I think it was maybe 7, 8 years old, man, and he's fighting another little kid, man, and hooked the kid, left hook, man. Kid just dropped, man, but you can see it, man. You know what I mean? Like, man, you can just see that. Oh wow, this dude could fight. This little man could fight. Let's put him with some gloves. Let's put him in front of a bag.
Yeah. Shout out to Calvin Ford, his coach, and Coach Kenny over at Upton Boxing, man. They do a great job with them kids over there.
My goodness, man.
And we're gonna have to help, get Cheese to see if we can get them brothers on the show. I know Cheese have interviewed. I think he interviewed both of them on his podcast. So we see if we can get them on. Talk a little Tank and just talk a little boxing.
Yeah.
With them brothers, man. But I'm proud of Tank, man. It was a good show. I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes, where he goes from here. Long as he keep his focus on what he's trying to do and where he's trying to go, and kind of avoid negativity, and the nonsense that he kind of. I mean, he's young, but we can't keep saying you're a young guy. We can't keep making that excuse for him. We want him to.
Where is he living now? He living in Florida? Because he doesn't live in Baltimore.
I believe he lives in Florida. I think he lives in Florida.
Okay.
Florida or Vegas one. I know he haven't lived in Baltimore for a while, but he did say, I did see him on a podcast where he said that he still has that need to come back to the city.
Mm-mm.
You know, and some of it I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it I understand, but in the same token, you know, he got to see the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because for every two or three people that's happy to see you come home, it's always that one. It's always that one in the corner, like, man, hey, I don't, you know,
That's a
that
fact.
MF, you know, whatever. So,
Right.
you know, I'm just hopeful that the young kid, man, he, you know,
I think it'll be more distractions.
yeah,
In
yeah,
addition to what you said, but I just think, with him being here closer to, like, I guess like more friends, more family, more people, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And it may be more distracting, especially for like, for training, man, because that's the utmost,
mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm,
gotta have that mind right so you can be able to train right,
yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
he's
So,
damn he's man, sky's the limit for that young man.
He top dog out there now, man. Really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when he fight, the stars come out, and you know
And
that kind of
he
thing.
rolls to the fight with in a
Lots of
tank.
time, long time, man. But
yeah,
the sport has been kind of, got kind of stale, and Don King, he ran into some issues, so they ran him out of the sport,
mm-hmm,
and ever since, it's been kind of going down. And
yeah,
they can throwing Mayweather out there, and what is he, 75 now? To try to keep the sport up.
yeah,
But this man is I mean, he's on Showtime and the main event and selling out arenas and got the stars there.
mm-hmm,
So doing his thing, man. He is doing his thing.
yeah, definitely doing this thing, no doubt. So, you know, we'll definitely have more tank talk coming up in the next few months in between now and tax day. You know, when the big fight is.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, I'm see if we can get them on the show. You know, I'm gonna start using these, these connections I got. You know, so I'm start
That's
be calling people that ain't heard from me in 10 years. Like, man, what you calling me for? Well, I heard you know Tank when he was
Right.
12,
right.
man. Maybe you can get him on the show for me. You know.
Right.
Yeah, so let's move on to our y'all see I'm representing tonight. Where is it at? My logo. I'm over here with it. Let me straighten that up just a little bit, you know.
Yeah. Let the people
So
see.
Y'all just
yeah,
signed your linebacker, I think.
yeah, old Roquan.
Yeah.
Old
100 mil,
Roquan,
60,
you know.
60, 60 was guaranteed, I think.
Yeah, I got the figures here. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, 100 million. Mm, man, that's just sound good, man.
Yeah.
45 million fully guaranteed with 60 million in total guarantees. So he can make up to 60 million before they decide to cut him loose. That's usually what happens when you get to the back end of them contracts. They be trying to release you or get you up out of there. And you know, I'm happy that they re-signed him, you know, because he was an instant, he made an instant impact on this team from game one against the Saints. Instant impact. And we just didn't realize how much we needed a middle linebacker, you know. And Patrick Queen seemed to be playing better,
Mm-hmm.
not playing in the middle, you know, playing kind of where he can kind of rush the quarterback a little bit. He can play in coverage. He seemed to play a lot better when he don't have to be the hero, which is I think they call the middle linebacker the hero. You know, you got Mike, Will, Sam, the hero. I remember some football stuff, some little lingo, but yeah, he was that signing is huge, and I'm glad that they did it at this point in the season. You know, instead of waiting, you know, because of course, they got decisions they're gonna have to make. We all know the big one. we all know what the big one is, and this was going to be the second biggest one to me.
Mhm.
This was the second most important one to get done, and they were able to get this one done prior to the season ending, which to me is good. I'm glad that it got done at this point in the season. So the next big fish, of course, is everybody's favorite quarterback. You know, number one in your hearts, number 8 in your program.
That's right.
You know,
That's
number 8, Mr. Lamar Jackson. Now, if you were in Lamar Jackson's shoes, if y'all was in Lamar's shoes, do y'all play Sunday? Would you risk it and play this Sunday, or would you wait?
well. I would say that Lamar Jackson has proven. I'm looking at when he came out of the locker room
Mm-hmm.
that Monday night game
Mm-hmm.
and led the Ravens to victory. I'm looking at him jumping into that lineup for this playoff game and doing his best to try to lead this team to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
The other quarterbacks that we have, Huntley, and of course Brown is really, really young, but Jackson is the man. Jackson is the man. You have Jackson in that lineup against Pittsburgh. The Ravens win. You got Roquan on the other side. They just signed. I'm just looking at this Ravens team, man, and Lamar Jackson, if he can come in, and I really believe he will play, and even if he has a little rust on him, I think him healing up from the knee injury, him healing up from the hip injury, and even giving a little bit more time to that ankle injury, because I didn't really think he was fully healed up from that. And he kind of lost a half a step. And I think that was based on that ankle injury that he had.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a golden opportunity for Lamar Jackson to come in and show who he is and what he's worth and what he means to this team. And I give them, and I've been saying it all along. People been, telling me I was crazy, and I was saying how much I like this team, and I still like them. I like them Sunday against Cincinnati, and you give me a healthy Lamar Jackson, and I think this team got a just as good a shot to go to the big dance as any other team in the NFL.
Yeah, my guy Damon. What's up, brother Damon? Say he should play, and the Ravens need his energy and leadership. I just if he's 95%, yeah, go ahead and play. I just remember RG3 coming out there when he wasn't ready to come back, and that pretty much ruined his career as a starter anyway. You know what I'm saying? He was never the same after that. And if I ain't mistaken, that was his rookie year, wasn't it? Was that his rookie year or second year?
It might have been his second year.
Yeah,
he won. He was playing with Shanahan.
Yeah, because he got hurt against the Ravens.
Against the Ravens.
Oh, hello, he now the goddamn planted his ass.
He got him.
Yeah, but I want to see LJ get out there and do his thing. I mean, we're a much better team with him. We are much better with him than without him. I don't even think that's a question no more.
Yeah.
Now we got some small minds that they're not gonna like Lamar, regardless. No matter what he say or do, they only see him as they still see him as he should have been a running back, or he should have switched to receiver or something like that. And it's hard to ignore them now because they seem like they doing the most talking, and they got the most material. You got people that saying he faking the injury. He not even hurt for real. He quit on his team. And I'm reading this stuff every day, and I'm glad I'm going back to work tomorrow because then I have a little less time to read some of this nonsense that's been occupying my days, man. But I mean, he is a hot button type of guy. Lamar, man, gonna move the needle whether you like him or not. He's gonna draw some attention, and they say this guy's name, like if you were to Google his name, his name is coming up over 1 million times a day in different whatever people writing about him, whether they talking about him. His name is coming up over 1 million times, 1 million something times a day. So he's hot button. You know what I'm saying? He's hot button, man. So people are going to flock to any Lamar Jackson commentary or comments or discussion and say their little 2 cents. But I'd like to see him play. I just want to make sure that he's, not risking further injury, by being out there. So I guess they say tomorrow is the the do or die. If he practiced tomorrow, that'd be a good indicator that he's gonna try to play on Sunday night.
I think Baltimore again. When you think about the fans of Baltimore and you listen to them and I mean their perspective way off as far as I'm concerned. And I know the human being is an emotional being, very emotional creature, and we get emotional about things. But since this dude then came to town, to Baltimore, Lamar Jackson has been spectacular for the city. We've never known to have a quarterback as electric as this guy is, and as I've always said, I think that the organization recognized that, they were done with Flacco. I think the hip injury that they talked about was fake. I don't think he really had a hip injury. I think they just was ready to turn the page and give this ball to number 8. And he hadn't done anything but step in that lineup and win and take this team to the playoffs. Of course, he done dealt with some injuries, but man, watching the Ravens has never been as exciting. I just can't even think about an era that was so exciting. Of course, we know we had the Ray Lewis and the great defensive years, but now we got Lamar Jackson, who is such an electric quarterback. Man, it's been such a pleasure to watch the Ravens. It's been must-see TV ever since that guy been taking the snaps in Baltimore. So he's a treasure. He's a gem, and he's Baltimore, man. And I've just been excited since he's been here as our quarterback, and I'm wishing the best for him. I hope he get what he deserves, because he certainly deserves a lot of money. And I think that the guaranteed money is something that NFL players need. And I don't think they could have a better player standing up for it than Lamar Jackson. And again, I still think that the Damar Hamlin incident helps with that cause of getting guaranteed money. People look at it one way, talking about if you get hurt, the owner saying he might get hurt. But if you look at it from the other perspective, that's more of a reason why they should have guaranteed money based on the ferocity of the game and everything. So Lamar, man, has been dynamite, man. And I think Baltimore should really appreciate having this dude and should be pulling heavily, man, that this guy gets signed and stay down there at M&T Bank, man, because he is all of that.
But we talked about it here before. With the city, the Baltimore fans, they just got a tough time, man, with the superstar. Especially the superstar that don't look like they look. We love Cal Ripken, we love Brooks Robinson, but we gave Eddie Murray literally a sports writer helped to get Eddie Murray up out of town. I mean, how much sense did that make? And I just don't understand. You know, we were the same way with Ray Lewis. When Ray Lewis was up for his money, the second time, you know, I think when he got his second contract, I mean, they were saying, let him go to Dallas, and you know, we don't need him, and you know, I'm tired of hearing his speeches and the dance and all that stuff. And I'm saying to myself, you know, we can't be that foolish. You know, you don't get players like this they're not coming out in every draft. You know, Ray Lewis is a once in a lifetime guy. The standard, you know, he's the standard. All of the linebackers, the middle linebackers that came behind him, he was the standard. You know, he was the guy they all said we want to be like Ray. You know, but here, it was a love-hate relationship with that guy. You know, he was, I'm tired of hearing him speech, and you know, he's talking about God and this and that. Anything just to diffuse the flame. And you know, players like that got a flame that you can't take it out. You know what I'm saying? You can't what is the word? Distinguish. You can't extinguish those flames, man. And Lamar Jackson, you know, we got to go back to the beginning. You know, we got to go back to the beginning. When they drafted the kid, it wasn't a popular move. You know, it wasn't a popular move amongst the fan base. He came in. We knew Joe Flacco was going to be the quarterback, and they had Lamar coming in on them little gimmicky plays, and you know, so a small mind. That's all they're going to see. You know, they're going the same way they probably did in Pittsburgh with Cordell Stewart when he was Slash. You know, that's all they saw him as. They didn't see him as a quarterback. And so Lamar comes in here. He's running these little gimmicky plays. The Ravens aren't winning games. You know, Flacco, in my opinion, was 3 or 4 years past when they should have made a move 3 or 4 years before. But had they made a move 3 or 4 years before, we wouldn't have Lamar Jackson. You know, so when they installed Lamar as the starting quarterback, the Ravens the season was over. We were playing for draft picks at that point. Let's just put the young kid in and see what we got. See if we got to draft another quarterback in the spring.
I don't think they had been in the playoffs for a couple of years either.
No, they hadn't been in the playoffs for a couple of years, man, and it was bad. It was just getting bad. And if it's something worse than bad, it was that. But there was no hope at the end of that season. They were not hopeful to do nothing. And Lamar Jackson came in, and he lit a fire in the locker room. He lit a fire in the city, and he had the NFL buzzing. What's going on in Baltimore? And they make the playoffs. The team that was out for dead, they had them out for dead. They make the playoffs. That first year when what was it, like the last 6 games he played? Then they make the playoffs. So they get to the playoffs and they lose to the Chargers.
Yep.
Well, they should have put Joe in. All that nonsense. You hear all that nonsense. They should have put Joe in. They should have did this. They should have. Flacco was done here. Joe knew he was done here.
Oh, he knew it. He knew it.
I've seen some posts in the last couple of days that said, "Can we bring Joe back now for the playoffs?" like, yeah, I'll be like, man, you can't be serious. But I just, you know, I read that stuff and I just shake my head and I keep it moving. But, you know, we went through that season. That's the 2018 season. This kid come back. So the whole offseason, all we heard was he can't throw. He can't do this. He can't do that. He'll be lucky to do this. He'll be lucky to do that. blah, 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 blah. He came out, what was the first game against the Dolphins, threw 5 touchdowns.
Mhm.
You know, so I'm like, well, it was just the Dolphins. You know, you start to hear that kind of talk. Oh, what's it going to do when we get against the Steelers and all these other teams?
Mhm.
So I can't even remember who the 2 teams we lost to that year was. I remember we started the season off 2-2. And after the 4th game, we didn't lose enough to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? 14-2, the number 1 seed, MVP of the league, you know, and we lose in the playoffs to Tennessee.
Yeah.
You know, and
That was 2020, I think.
Yeah, he was. That was the 2019 season.
2019 season.
But
Right.
was, you know, yeah, but you know, and goddamn, the freight train was running over people. Lamar ain't out there tackling nobody. You know, he didn't have a great game, but we couldn't stop the freight train that game.
Right.
You know, that's the game he turned. Had my man hit him with the stiff arm and had his back turned to him. My man came from Seattle.
Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas.
Mhm.
You know,
Little boy.
but that's another thing I hear. People say, well, yeah, he good for the regular season, but he ain't done nothing in the playoffs yet. I'm like, damn.
Who, Lamar?
Yeah. He 1-3 in the playoffs. I'm like, damn. So we just move on from him. And then another thing people saying, well, now, you know, the Ravens you know, we accepted mediocrity. You know, we just happy to be in the playoffs now. I was like, damn. Damn. Is it just me? You know what I'm saying? Because I've been here pretty much the whole time. And mediocrity was having Anthony Smith. What was his name? Anthony Wright as the quarterback.
Anthony Wright.
You know, getting into the playoffs. You know, mediocrity was Elvis Gerback, you know, barely getting into the playoffs with a Super Bowl winning defense. Like, are we serious? So Lamar just a regular season player now. From what I've been reading and what people been saying. I mean, y'all talk to me, man. I'm going to get mad and shit. talk to me, fellas.
You know, they forget that Lamar Jackson, you know, led the league in touchdown passes when he won the MVP. Not only did he lead,
he threw the ball right.
He
threw the ball right.
He's for rushing from a quarterback position. Rushed for over 1,200 yards. Led the Ravens to a 14-2 record. I mean, arguably, that could be considered. That's got to be up there as one of the greatest quarterback performances in the history of the NFL. To rush for over 1,200 yards and to lead the league in touchdown passes, to have 3 or 4 games with perfect quarterback ratings. I mean, this guy was killing it. And I wanted so bad for the Ravens to run the gamut and to win that Super Bowl, because it would have been the greatest performance ever quarterback if they were able to go and win that Super Bowl. And I wanted it so bad. But again, Lamar Jackson is big time, man. The guy is big time. The ratings prove it. Anytime he play on national TV, them ratings are sky high. And they need to sign this guy, man. And you know, and when you look at what the Ravens are doing, I mean, they really have strengthened themselves up the middle. You know, when you think about Lamar Jackson as quarterback, and you think about them bringing in Linderbaum as center, and then when you look on the defensive side with Roquan, of course, Calais Campbell is there, and then you got the boy They brought in boy Marcus Williams at safety, and also Kyle Hamilton is going to be back there. So the Ravens are strong up the middle, and that's a good thing. That's a real good thing. And along with the running backs behind Lamar, J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, and that crew. So this team, to me, man, is a dangerous team. I wouldn't want to have to play them in the playoffs, the Ravens. And they're a very dangerous team. I'm not really afraid of Cincinnati. I know they're good. They went to the Super Bowl last year, but as a Raven, looking at the Ravens, I'm not afraid of any team in the NFL. If the Ravens can come back healthy with Lamar Jackson, because Lamar, he even make the defense stronger because he's always crafty enough to get first downs and keep drives going, keep the defense off the field. So the Roquan Smith led defense is going to be even better when Lamar Jackson is on that field and keep making them third down plays and that time of possession battle. That defense is going to be just that much stronger. I like the Ravens a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't be understanding, man, what people's logic. We complain about, he want too much money. Well, man, come on, man. Who gonna turn away the most money you can get? Right. I don't care what your job is. If you a carpet layer, you know what I'm saying, and somebody gonna pay you, $100 more than the next person, you're gonna say, nah. I don't think I'm no, come on, man. Stop it. We gotta stop it. And so people say, well, Steve Bisciotti already said that he's not gonna guarantee the money, whatever. Yeah, they always say everything. It's a whole lot of stuff gonna be said publicly. It's what's being said behind them closed doors is what matters. It's what's being said at that negotiating table that what matters. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. I ain't heard Lamar say not one thing about what he wants. I ain't heard him say a dollar figure. I haven't heard him say a number of years. I haven't heard the man say anything that he want, X amount of years or X amount of dollars. I haven't heard none of that. All you hear is a bunch of speculation.
That's all.
And rumor. And whatever, I said it. I've been saying it all along. The longer you wait, the higher the price is going to be. The price is not coming down. People talking about he been injured the last couple of years. It's football. You know what I'm saying? It's football. And he got the football in his hand the majority of the time. The likelihood of him getting hurt is a lot more likely. You know what I'm saying? He got the ball in his hand. So the likelihood of him getting hurt may be a little bit more than, say, a wide receiver. Who may get 5-6 targets a game, may get that many. What you got, Brooks?
No, I was going to ask you, what's Mahomes' contract?
Pull it up right now.
That's how I was just getting ready to.
Because I don't think he got guaranteed money, like fully guaranteed. The only one got fully guaranteed was Deshaun Watson. So Patrick Mahomes signed a 10-year, $450 million contract with the Chiefs. Right. He had a $10 million signing bonus. And there's 141 plus guaranteed with an average annual salary of $45 million per. 45 million. Damn.
But Deshaun's contract was for 5 years.
Yeah. But he fully guaranteed. At 245, was it 235, fully guaranteed?
Was it 235? I thought it was 249.
We can figure that out real quick. whatever the number is fully guaranteed.
Right.
You know, let me see. 5 year, 230 million.
230. Okay.
44 plus signing bonus. 230 million guaranteed. Average annual salary of 46 million.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Now if the Ravens franchise Lamar, the franchise number is the average of the top 5 paid quarterbacks in the league. So he's going to get $45 to $50 million anyway.
yep.
For at least the next 2 years.
Yeah, and
next 2 seasons.
And I've said this here before as well. If you sign the man to a contract, you can play with the numbers a little bit. If you franchise him, you got to give him what the number is. So would it make more business sense to pay the man $250 million over 5-6 years? I think if he get more guaranteed money than Deshaun Watson, you know what I'm saying? So if you sign him for say 300 and you guarantee 250, he got more than Deshaun Watson. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not in the room with him, but I think that will be a starting point. Because he's gonna require more money than Deshaun Watson. That's mandatory. Because if you stack their careers next to each other, come on, man, Deshaun Watson not even in the same room. He not even in the same ballpark. So, the Ravens, man, y'all, anybody got Steve Bisciotti's number? We can call him live. We can call him live on the show. Steve, come on, man. We gotta get this thing done, baby. We gotta stop playing. Let's stop playing with this thing. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this thing done, man. Get this man his money. You know.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that Dude's contract signing today will have any impact on Lamar's paper?
Nah, that's Roquan Smith. That's not Ray Lewis. So you know, nah. And I think, in my opinion, getting his deal done now versus waiting till later is a good indicator that they want to get something done with Lamar. You know, get him out of the way. That way we don't have to worry about him. You know, now of course, with contracts getting signed, it's some other hard decisions you got to make. You know, so I don't know who else is up for contract coming up, but I'm pretty sure there's some names. We're going to lose some names, and that's just the nature of the business. You know, somebody's going to have to go somewhere else and get their money. You know, and I'm just I cringe a little bit when people say, you know, that if we sign Lamar, it's going to cripple the team, and you know, it's going to have the salary cap all jacked up, and you know, we're not going to be able to do this, and we're not going to be able to do that. We ain't going to be able to bring no other players here. You know, they pay people a lot of money to figure that stuff out. You know, they got a whole department over there. They got a guy that runs it, and his whole job is to worry about the salary cap. You know, that's his job. He don't care what the name is. He say these are the numbers we got to work with.
Yep.
You know, and you fill in what name you feel that, you know, can work with these numbers. So, you know, I
damn.
You know, we you know, I know you got a long day ahead of you, brother. You know?
Yeah, man, I'm barely keeping up, man. I'm struggling right now, man.
Yeah, so we you know, we got a couple more little things. If you got to jump off, just let me know.
All right.
You know, just let me know. But yeah, man, I'm just not the guy. You know, I don't really worry about what Steve Bisciotti's bank account is and his money problems with the Ravens. I could care less. I'm a fan of the team. You know what I'm saying? Steve, just put a team out there that we can root for every week. That's all I'm worried about. You know what I'm saying? So if you got to pay Lamar Jackson $300 million, Steve, break the bank, baby. Hey, if anybody watching knows Steve Bisciotti's number, send it to me. I'm gonna call him.
And man, when people keep talking about I wouldn't pay this guy this much money, or he's asking for too much, that's too much, no one's worth that. I disagree with them, because if the sport is generating billions, then the people who you pay to see should be compensated. And the NFL is generating billions and billions of dollars. That's why these owners can pay a Patrick Mahomes a 10-year for whatever $450 million contract, and these guys can make this money because the sport is generating that kind of money. It's a $1 billion industry. Lamar Jackson is one of the big stars. The guy deserved the money. The NFL can afford it. So they're not offering too much money for these players. They're offering, in fact, they're probably getting less than what they really should get when you think about how much the league is generating. So pay the man, but also one thing I was hopeful that the contract could get done before the season starts, because this thing with Lamar, and I think we talked about it last week, with this thing with Lamar battling, Bisciotti, and not only Bisciotti, but battling the other owners, because they all trying to make the Deshaun Watson signing look like, the owner was drunk or something and made a huge mistake by giving this guy guaranteed money. They looked at the owner and made him look sort of like a buffoon. But here you got Lamar Jackson coming behind Watson looking for this money. And obviously, to me, I recognize that it's a heavy weight on Lamar's shoulder. And he was doing a lot of things during the season that was on Lamar. You see him slamming the ball down time and time again after a violation of the time, time on the play, slamming the ball. He's the center. He's punting the ball when there's a penalty. I seen him punt the ball, and then the Instagram incident to where he fired back on somebody. So I know that it's a pressure that's on him, and pressure again, man. When you go head up with the owners in the NFL, is one of the most powerful good old boy systems that you're ever going to run into. And with Lamar Jackson challenging them, throughout the season, I'm just telling you, man, when you challenge the boss, when you challenge the bosses like that, he's going to be catching flack. He's going to be getting one quarterback might get sacked. That's a bad hit. It's a penalty. Lamar get hit. They don't call anything, So penalties against the Ravens. So I think that there's just a natural thing for when somebody is challenging master, that everybody who's on the payroll of the NFL is going to be looking at this guy in a negative way. So he's not going to be getting the calls from the referees, and that's going to be the big deal to me when he comes back. Is he going to get the call? And a lot of times, man, even guys that's on the team, man, I'm telling you, man, a lot of this stuff is some unconscious things, and I go back to when the Minnesota Vikings went 14-2 or 15-1 that year. And Dennis, what was the coach name?
Yeah,
Dennis. They were.
Yeah.
Dennis, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Dennis Green.
Denny Green. Yeah.
And Randall Cunningham as quarterback, and they had Randy Moss as receiver, and they went 15-1 during that year, and they got into the playoff. And that kicker of theirs, Gary Anderson, who had been perfect all year, he hadn't missed any field goals.
Yeah.
And he missed a 30-yarder that would have sent them to the Super Bowl. But the thing is that they didn't want them to go to the Super Bowl. They did not want them to go to the Super Bowl. And a lot of times, man, that thing is kind of unconscious, that this kicker and I know race is always an issue, but race is here, man. It's in the fabric of this country. That this kick with that coach with Randall, Dennis Green, and they don't like black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl, and a black coach in the Super Bowl too. And this kid gonna miss a 32-yard field goal, and I mean hook it bad, and they don't go to the Super Bowl. So I worry about Lamar. I worry about how they're looking at him battling the industry and battling the owners. And is he gonna get that? Or are they gonna try to stop the Ravens? So if the Ravens gonna win, man, they're gonna have to be blowing some people out, man, making some big plays. They're gonna have to make some plays.
Yeah. So Damon asked, does the NFL have a salary cap?
Yeah.
They do. Yeah, they do. They have a salary cap in the NFL. Yeah. And look,
they have whole staffs.
Look in the comments there, buddy.
What's up, Cheese?
What's up, Cheese? What's up, brother? Yeah. Hey, wipe your face off right quick, Cheese. Come on, man.
Yeah, but the NFL does have they do have a cap. They've had it for some time.
Yeah. NFL got a cap.
Yeah,
they had a cap for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
because they were just noting what was it, just last season, the Rams, and how they were able to do what they were able to, to get around. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say get around the cap, but to work around or work with the cap and to get the players that they were able to get. Because they got Von Miller, they got OBJ, and they got somebody else. I think Jalen, number 5 on defense.
Jalen Ramsey had been there for a couple of years.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but that's how the Ravens ended up with Marcus Peters.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
We got Peters, and they traded for Jalen Ramsey.
Right.
Because it was people hoping that the Ravens would have traded for Jalen Ramsey.
Right.
But that it's the money, man. You can't pay everybody. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a team full of all-stars. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, with a salary cap, you just gotta be able to maneuver that thing and make it work. And that's why I say they pay people a lot of money to figure out them numbers for them, man. Mm-hmm. So I be just laughing. I be laughing, with the fans. Fans be talking about the salary cap, and they be talking about this and that. I'm like, yo, I mean,
who would they prefer? Derek Carr?
Oh my God!
Like, who the fuck would they prefer?
Oh my God! But I mean, see, sometimes I think people be thinking, yo, we're just gonna draft another quarterback. It don't work like that. Because you can draft a quarterback, the likelihood of him being a good one, that's a toss-up. You know what I'm saying? That's a toss-up.
I mean, right now you have at least what? 5, 6, 7, at least 7, maybe what? Second, third year quarterbacks. And they're just, you got like the Jalen Hurts and even your Kyler Murray. I mean, they're just, they're not. I mean, they're good, but I mean, what you going to expect from them?
Let's just talk about Baker Mayfield. Let me just throw him out there. He was the number 1 pick, same year Lamar.
Yeah, but he was a lot of flash. I mean, he was good in college, but
he was the number 1 overall pick. He was number one.
Yeah,
and the expectation
look at the field that year.
The expectation, but he was supposed to be the head of the class.
True.
He was supposed to be. If you listen to the talking heads, if you listen to anybody that's supposed to know something about something, he was supposed to be the guy. And we still waiting.
Look at him now.
We still
look
waiting.
At him now. Right.
Yeah, we still waiting.
Right.
We still waiting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It's a crapshoot. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the draft itself is a crapshoot. There's no guarantee that any player you draft in the draft is going to turn out to be a stud. There's no guarantees in that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you got people running around talking about this guy was a bust and that guy was a bust. It is what it is, man. You know, everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, in my opinion. You know, some guys get to the league and their best football is behind them at whatever university they just left. They topped out right there. They're not going to get no better than what they are or what they were at X university. You know what I'm saying? And then you got other guys from schools you never heard of that's climbing. You know what I'm saying? Or there is no formula to say, you know, when we bring a player and we scout a player that he going to turn out to be, you know, the next best thing. It's no way to determine that. So when you hear people talking about a sure thing or a can't miss prospect, that's nonsense. There ain't no such thing as can't miss. You know, it's a such thing as hope. I hope he turned out. You know what I'm saying? Because if that was the case, we wouldn't get coaches fired and GMs fired every year. Black Monday is what they call it. You know what I'm saying? That was just yesterday, and we had a couple firings yesterday. So, you know, it's. I mean, if you trade Lamar and get draft picks and prospects, you know, again, who is going to be your quarterback? And as fans that's impatient with a team that's been in the playoffs 2-3 of the last 4 years, how patient are you going to be with a team that don't make the playoffs for the next 4 or 5 years?
You get Sam Darnold.
Yeah, a retread. You know,
Not even a Reese, just he's a busted tread.
So I don't know, man. I just, you know, I like the guy we got. It's a unique position here in the city because we've never had a player at you know, being with his level of superstardom. You know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson is a superstar. And, you know, we haven't had that. We had Ray Lewis, he was a defensive player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, offense in this league, in this NFL was where the money is. You know, and if you get a dynamic offensive player that is, you know, selling tickets, he's selling merchandise, you know, his presence is felt whenever he walk into a room. You know, there's a price to pay for that. You know, because the Ravens, they're not going to tell you how much money they make off of Lamar Jackson. You know, we're not going to hear that. All of the money that they make off the stuff that he generates. You know, what's the? I know he get a percentage, but how many number 8 jerseys you be seeing around town? You know what I'm saying? How many Lamar Jackson bobbleheads and all the little stuff you see with Lamar's face, and the appearances. You know, when Lamar show up at the children's hospital, or when he show up at somebody's elementary school to read books to the kids and stuff. You know, that's not only good publicity for him, but it's good for the team. You don't think they capitalizing off of that? Yeah, come on. So we gotta be realistic, man. You know, people complaining about he shouldn't get paid because he been hurt and he can't. I mean, people still saying the man can't throw.
But what's the alternative? Trade him? I don't understand. Like what
Huntley is the alternative.
Okay.
Huntley and Brown.
Okay,
Come
that's
on, man,
first.
Brown.
You know, you may make the first. You may make the playoffs, and you know, it's a first round bounce.
If we got Huntley or Brown for 17 games, we're not making the playoffs. We're not making the playoffs. I'm taking that to the bank. We're not making the playoffs. And anybody that think we would make the playoffs with them guys, I'd like to package up what you're selling or what you're smoking on, and we can make a lot of money with that. Nonsense.
So you know what that sound like? That sound to me like that sound to me like these owners who wanna take like a hard stand because it's about the system and not the players.
Mhm.
So their thinking is, we can just plug in a player and we will be just as successful because of the system.
Mhm.
And as I'm talking, I'm going through the examples in my head,
Mhm.
and I'm trying to come up with, say, like a winning one. Like I remember Jerry Jones and Emmett
Emmitt
Smith.
Smith. Yeah, I
You
remember that.
know, took him like 2 games. I mean, man, let's bring this motherfucker back, man. What the fuck was I thinking about?
Mhm.
Even Kraus and the Bulls. We don't need Jackson.
Mhm.
I can bring in another coach, man. He can coach these guys.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, go ahead and do it. We ain't gonna play.
Mhm.
We're gonna do this for 1 year, and that's it. It's called a last dance.
Yeah.
So when you have say, I don't know, like superstars or guys who are like really like elite at their position, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then the attempt to try to to plug in with somebody of a lesser skill. When does that work?
Right. Right.
So the logic is you could take out Lamar, you could bring in somebody of a lesser skill set, but based on the strength of the A, coaching, B, the schemes on the line, on the O line and the D line and such, and based on the strength of that, we can just do this, plug and play.
So
Nah, I don't.
based off what you just said, CB, I'm gonna throw a name at you and see if it's familiar to you. Now, I know Dean know it.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Traber.
No.
Exactly.
Right. That's
Exactly.
what we expected. That's what we expected, CB. Your reaction was right on point. Right where it's supposed to be.
Who's that dude?
Tell him who that was, Dean.
What Eddie Murray had a hamstring injury or something. Eddie Murray went out with an injury for the Orioles.
Oh, okay.
And
Baseball.
they brought the kid Jim Traber up from AAA. First time the pitcher seeing him. Traber came out smoking. He was smoking. He was hitting the ball, man. He was going deep. And all Baltimore City was saying, we don't need Eddie. Get him out of here. We got Jim Traber.
Got you.
All this man Eddie did was hit 30 home runs, bat 300, and driving 100 runs every single year. And as soon as he get a little hurt and this guy start hitting the ball a little bit, they ready to run Eddie out of town.
Yeah, get him
of
out
course,
of here.
soon the pitchers got the bead on Traber.
Exactly. That's exactly
couldn't do.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
I don't even think he was in the league after that, was he, Kenny?
Not long.
I don't even
and you know what? It's that period that he the pitchers had figured the hitter out, and now the hitter have to go back and figure the pitchers out, and that rarely happens, and that's why I don't know this dude, because he wasn't able to figure. He was not able to step up and figure out the pitchers, but the pitchers was like, oh, I know where you're weak at. Oh, I know what you're gonna swing at. Okay, got you.
Yes.
Watch a little tape. Boom. That's why I didn't hear of this guy.
That's the story. That's the story right there.
Got you.
They adjusted to him, but he ain't had nothing else to adjust to them.
Because when he comes in, he was new, right?
Like the pitchers didn't know he was new. He was a new face, right? They
He-
probably
he-
barely had any tape on him, so he wasn't like a player that that they were going to that they could study or whatever, So
I got
That's
his
funny.
stuff right here. So he came up in 84 for 10 games.
mm-hmm,
86 he came up for 65 games.
mm-hmm.
88 was the year that they were saying he could replace Eddie. He played 103 games. Let me see, what was his batting average? He batted a whopping 222.
Jim Traver.
He hit 10 home runs.
He was a
40
hometown boy too.
Yeah, from out Columbia. Had 45 runs batted in. The following year, 89, when Eddie was gone in 89. They traded him to the Dodgers.
Went to Dodgers.
He came up for 86 games. He batted 209 with 4 home runs, 26 RBIs. And then I believe he went over to Japan after that. He that was his last year in the major leagues, 1989.
I don't think that the Orioles were able to find a first baseman until they got that steroid taking Palmeiro. and before that, I think they went through that Glenn Davis crap.
Glenn Davis,
Debacle.
Sam Horn,
and
Milligan.
Harold Baines played some first base, and I mean they struggled.
Yeah, it was tough.
They struggled,
When
but they
did
traded.
Albert Bell come on?
He
Was
was
that
in the
CB?
late, he was in the late 90s.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't play first base either. He played right field or left field, one of them.
Okay.
But yeah, so all that saying, let them go and bring some, like, use that money to bring other players in and this, that, and the other. That all sound good. But I also think, some of these Ravens fans tend to forget the quarterback carousel we've had here. Joe Flacco stabilized the quarterback position. You know what I'm saying? And I believe he was here 9 or 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Flacco was solid. Now, you're not gonna get me to sit on here and say that he was a scrub or none of that shit.
Right.
No, Joe was solid, and he had some spectacular games. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he put together a year where you could say he was top tier. You know what I'm saying? He was like one of the top tier quarterbacks in the league. I don't think he put together a complete season that way. But Joe was solid. And what I think people forget too, in his first 4 years or so, he just had to manage the game. Don't fuck this up.
Don't be like Bowler.
Oh my God, man! Hey, listen, we had to put an end to that. You can't bring his name up no more up on here because we suffered through that.
Oh man,
we suffered through that shit.
That dude, man. I had just moved down here, and I used to watch the games. I could just like I couldn't understand, like, why is this dude still playing? And it seemed like the coach had like 1,000% confidence in this dude. Like he loved him. Is he a son-in-law? Like what's going on?
Yeah, that was the rumor.
That was the rumor. Yeah,
that was the rumor.
He was in the family.
He in the family some kind of way.
Man,
Right.
that was awful, man.
Yeah, but man, Bowler was bad.
He was bad.
He was bad, and these people, man, they took up for this kid. He works hard, and he's going to surprise you this year. He's going to do this, and he and I just like, listen, I'm not a NFL scout by any means, but when I see this kid play, nothing about him says, he's gonna be the quarterback here for
pathetic, man.
5 to 10 years, and it's gonna be great. Nothing about his play said that to me, and he was able to hang around the league for a couple years. That
Where did he go after Baltimore?
When he left here, he went to the Cardinals, and I think he ended up with the Raiders.
Yeah, I saw him holding some clipboards. I saw him. And those teams were wise because that's what he should have been holding, the clipboard. He had no business out there being a starting quarterback to a team that had a defense like the Ravens. I mean, they literally wasted them years with that guy at quarterback.
Yeah, that was the toughest part.
They wasted them years, and then you bring in an over the hill Steve McNair. He led them to 13-3 season.
I remember
a 13-3 season. And what if you would have really had a legit quarterback, Pro Bowl type quarterback with that defense that the Ravens had? They could have did a lot of damage. I mean, they literally wasted a lot of years.
Yep. And again, I said it earlier, man. You have a Ray Lewis, a once in a lifetime player, and then you get Ed Reed.
Right.
You got two once in a lifetime players basically at the same time.
On that field at the same time.
At the same time, man. And oh my goodness. And we couldn't get that offense right to save our life.
Couldn't get it done. And I look at the draft, and that's why I give Eric DeCosta some credit, because I think he done kind of hit his stride now, where before I thought he was struggling. Because when you drafting players, and like you said earlier, Kenny, there's definitely no guarantees about when you draft, but they got all these scouts, and they got all this film on these players coming from these major universities and the competition that they play. So when you drafting as a team, your first round picks, you really want to hit a home run with your first round pick. Now, when you go back to the Ravens' first draft, and they drafted Jonathan Ogden, and they got Ray Lewis in the first round, those are what you call two Grand Slam picks.
Yes, sir.
These guys were two Hall of Famers, and you may not be able to find anywhere in the history of any team where they found two first-round draft picks as good as Jonathan Ogden and Ray Lewis. It'll be tough to find that. So when you draft in the first round, you want a home run. And when I look at Eric DeCosta, his very first pick was the receiver Hollywood.
Yeah.
He picked Hollywood as his number one draft pick. Hollywood wasn't even the best receiver in that draft. The boy that's up there in Philly killing now was in that draft.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown was in that draft. The boy that played for Seattle, big receiver.
Number 15.
Number 15, that big boy.
DK.
So exactly. So these guys were in the draft, and he picked this guy, Hollywood. Hollywood can't even get off the line. If you jam him, he can't get off the line. You really got to send him in motion every time, to get him off that line. And then he's not that shifty. The yards after catch ain't even there. So they didn't hit a home run with Hollywood. I'd say they hit a double with him, because he was not a number one receiver. In that same draft, he picked Jalen Ferguson in the third round, Miles Boykin, Justice Hill. That was his first draft. When you come back to 2020, his number one pick, again, you're trying to hit a home run, he picked Queen. Now, Queen is not a home run in my estimation. Any linebacker that struggle with tackling like he does, to me, is you got to be able to tackle if you're a linebacker, and he's not a good tackler. And of course, bringing in Roquan, you're gonna be a ball player. You're gonna be better when you got a star like that. When you got Jordan, Pippen gonna be Pippen. Pippen would have never been Pippen without Jordan. They always say it the other way around, but you got a superstar like Jordan, a lot of them ball players, man, gonna look good with him out there. Roquan is there. and players are starting to look good. But he picked Queen. He definitely he got Dobbins with the next pick, Mattabuke, Duvernay, and Broderick. These guys he drafted that year. So, pretty solid. In 2021, he had Bateman and he picked Oweh. He missed with Oweh.
Mm-hmm.
Oweh is a miss in my estimation. You draft a guy with one of your number one picks, he ain't get no sacks at Penn State, and you think because he fast and he's a athletic freak that he's gonna come right into the NFL? No, it just don't work that way, and I think Oweh is just going to be mediocre at best with this team. That was a miss. Now, Bateman been going through injuries. Then he picked the Cleveland and Stevens and Tylen Wallace. So I didn't really think that draft was a good draft 2021. Now, I think he started to find his groove in this year when, to me, he selected Hamilton. I think he hit a home run with Hamilton.
Yeah,
I think he hit
Hamilton
a
tough.
home run with Linderbaum. I think he hit a home run. And then picking Ojabo on the second round, who was obviously a top 15 pick. So you're looking at 3 potential home runs right there in that draft. And then on top of that, he go out and get Marcus Williams. That guy's a ball hawk, man.
Yep.
For safety, give him an A with that. Then he traded Hollywood, who didn't want to be with the team, and that transferred into Linderbaum, being a number 1 pick. I thought that was a great move on his part. So, I'm looking at Eric DeCosta, making these moves. He got rid of Wink. I like that. He brought in McDonald. I thought that was a great move, So, and then when you think about Michael Pierce, of course, he got hurt. He'd have been clogging up that middle along with Calais. And then the big one, man, I'm still a little salty, man, when he signed, or he thought he signed, Zadarius Smith.
Right. Yeah, I thought they had him too.
We had him, man, and that kind of, I thought that the Ravens should have went a little harder to hold on to him when the guy figured he was worth a little bit more money. But who knows? Maybe Roquan wouldn't have got signed if they would have did that. So I don't know, but I give Eric DeCosta a lot of credit. I think he definitely had a comeback year where the previous years I thought he was missing out on a lot.
Yeah. Leonard Cheese, what's up, brother? Happy New Year to you. Yeah, I like some of the picks and moves that they made as well. And again, excuse me, it's not an easy job, picking the right player, because like you said, they got scouts, and those scouts come back with a list. You know what I'm saying? And so them guys got to sit around that table.
It's a lot of work.
And hope that they pick the right somebody.
Get the right one.
So you took it back to that original draft. I wasn't following the NFL like that at that time. We didn't have a team. And I followed the NFL kind of casually. So I was around here talking about, man, draft Lawrence Phillips.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
Yeah, draft Lawrence Phillips. I wanted the splash. Nebraska. And goodness gracious, Lawrence Phillips not even living no more, I don't think.
Right.
I think he got killed in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he got killed in prison or something.
He had a rough life, man.
But this, when they drafted Jonathan Ogden, my ignorance told me, man, what are we doing? Why would we draft a tackle with the 4th pick in the draft? Well, he ended up being one of the best tackles that ever played the damn position.
Oh yeah, Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, which was then told me I probably need to learn a little bit more about this, how this thing works. Before I go around, saying silly stuff like I be reading every day with these people talking about letting Lamar walk, or they need to trade him for some draft picks, and all this nonsense that they be talking.
Hey, Ken.
Yeah.
If these are the same folk or the family of folk that was praising Kyle Bowler, it makes sense. You got to think.
Yeah, they probably got some Bowler jersey somewhere packed up.
It's fucking hereditary.
They're afraid they probably be a little ashamed to break them out now. I've seen some Testaverde jerseys and some, Michael Jackson, but I ain't seen too many Kyle Bowlers. And I know they sold them. I know they sold them. So somebody got them packed up in the closet somewhere.
And he got a couple numbers. He changed numbers.
Yeah, he was.
There's a
he was
shrine somewhere in Baltimore.
Yeah, you're right. He was number 8 at first. Then he switched to number 7.
Yeah.
I was afraid when Lamar put on number 8. I was like, oh, good.
Well, yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I know with Bowler having it, but I understood that the number 8 is the number of change, and that's exactly what he did when he came to Baltimore. He absolutely changed the city and changed the franchise. So, he's got the right number. He definitely got the right number, and I want so bad for this man to win a Super Bowl. I want so bad for him to win a Super Bowl, and it's in him. It's in him. They just got to make sure they put the right thing. I think the guy said in the game the other day that maybe it was 2 or 3 weeks back that the Ravens have spent less on wide receivers than any other team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we talk about Lamar not having weapons, they haven't really invested a whole lot in the receivers. I think they got a good.
Always been a question. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Is Duvernay still hurt? Is he still injured?
I think
He's
so.
done. Yeah.
But that hadn't been that problem didn't start when Lamar got here. That's been a problem with the Ravens from the beginning.
Yep.
We have never drafted a wide receiver that really turned
you
into
had that
something.
dude Anquan Bolton, and then I think after the Super Bowl you let his ass go, and he was a good possession receiver.
But we didn't draft him.
No, you didn't draft him. No,
we didn't draft him.
He wasn't a draft.
From a draft standpoint, we never have drafted a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I think
that's going back to '96.
What about
the franchise?
the brother that Dean mentioned,
Hollywood?
Yeah, wasn't he a draft?
It was all right. Yeah, he was all right.
Oh well,
he was all
I
right.
think the guy that they drafted might have been the boy from University of Maryland.
Torrey Smith.
Torrey Smith.
Yeah,
As a draft.
was good. Yeah, he was probably he may be the best drafted wide receiver,
right?
From a production standpoint.
He didn't have a lot of speed at the corner there, man.
And Torrey Smith got 2 rings.
Yeah,
he got a ring with the Eagles.
With the Eagles.
Yeah. But remember Mark Clayton?
I remember Travis Taylor,
and damn. Then they had remember the big 6'8" guy they had. He was like an undrafted guy. He was supposed to turn into something.
Yeah, he had Randy Moss number on his back.
Yeah, see how that turned out for him.
Right.
I can't even remember his name. Damn.
Yeah.
That's how impactful he was.
Right.
I can't even remember his damn name.
Right.
But then we getting guys at the end of their careers, Steve Smith.
Yeah.
Derek Mason.
Mm-hmm. I remember Derek.
Them guys was productive. They was productive here, but they just guys at the end of the road, man.
Right. Gave you like 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brought in the boy. What's the boy from Dallas? They ain't played that much. He was 88.
88. Damn. What's his name?
Way past his prime, man.
Right.
What's his name?
Dez
Bryant. Yeah.
Dumb.
Deshaun Jackson. Yeah, I mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go.
Deshaun is playing with y'all right now, right?
No, they cut him.
Oh, they did. Oh shit.
Yeah, he got cut Friday.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Damn. I think I'm gonna get me a stopwatch and I'm gonna go watch some guys run routes. And maybe I'll send some scouting reports over there to the castle.
Right.
You know, maybe I got an eye for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man.
It can't be worse than what we've been getting.
He was only on the team for like about a month?
Yeah, month, 2 months.
I don't think it was that long. Maybe.
He was on that practice squad for a little bit.
Right, he was on the practice squad. I do remember he was on the practice squad
for a while.
Yeah, so
oh wow.
Great, wrap it up. So you got the playoffs this weekend coming.
Yeah.
We getting bumped.
And no faith.
We're going up against Tom Brady, man, in Tampa Bay on Monday night.
Who was that?
And Dak is the quarterback. Come on, man. let me tell you something, man. Last week, I've been watching football. Man, my gosh, man. I've been watching football for a long time. Mm-hmm. I think the first Super Bowl was when Dallas and Pittsburgh went to the first Super Bowl. I think, what was that, 74, 75? I want to say maybe 75. The first time I've seen a quarterback throw a pass, almost a pick six, call a timeout. The first play, you throw to the same area, picking on the same back.
Yeah.
And you say the first time, man, you know what? I messed up. You didn't get a pick six the first time, but damn it, this time you're going to get a pick six. on two straight possessions, man. Come on. You're picking on the same cornerback. He almost did a pick six the first time, and he got it right the second time.
Yeah.
Never saw that before, man. In all my years of watching football, I was just like.
And they said Tom Brady is what, 7-0, 8-0 against the Cowboys?
Whatever it is, man.
so
should be a pretty good game.
You don't see it going no other way.
Playing Tom Brady, man. I've seen this dude like not the last game, maybe 3 games ago. Mm-hmm. They got a dub and they were losing. Actually, I went away from the game. I came back to the game. They were marching down the field about maybe it was two and some change. Got a touchdown, got the dub, game over. Everybody loves Tom. Like what the fuck, man? Can't it's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It's Tom Brady.
I
ain't fucking wrong. Huh?
The guy's a freak of nature, man.
So the other NFC games, you got the Giants going to Minnesota, and then you got the Seahawks going to the 49ers. So I got the 49ers. I'm liking the Niners. I like the Niners, and I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
I'm going with the Giants.
The Vikings, they're at home. I'm gonna get them the home field.
I'm going with the Giants.
But I don't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like the Niners and the Vikings, and I like Dallas.
Yeah. I like the Cowboys.
Have been on a streak.
Yeah,
Niners looking good.
Yeah, Niners looking good.
Yeah.
Now, and ever since they got that boy CMC from the Panthers, man.
Oh yeah,
McCaffrey. Oh my goodness, man! That was a big pickup for them.
Real nice pickup. So the Eagles got a bye.
Eagles got a bye, and the Chiefs got a bye.
Okay, it's only one team.
Yeah, one team get a bye. So your AFC games, you got the Chargers, Jaguars on Saturday night. And then Sunday at 1, you got Buffalo and the Dolphins.
Right.
And then Sunday night is the Ravens and Bengals. So
Tua may not play.
Yeah, Buffalo gonna win that game. I don't care if he played. Buffalo gonna win that one.
Yeah.
In Buffalo gonna win that game easy.
Yeah, Buffalo got that.
the Chargers and Jaguars. The Jaguars been playing some good ball.
They have, man. They defense, man. I saw that last game, man. They're playing some inspired ball.
I like the Jaguars.
Yeah, and they at home. They got a home game, so I'm gonna go with the Jaguars on that one.
Yeah.
The Jags are playing at home.
Yep. They
Yeah.
got the Chargers at home, and then the
And-
final, of course, is the Ravens and the Bengals. And
Mhm.
if Lamar Jackson play, I'm going Ravens. If not,
Yeah.
Bengals.
Let me ask
That's
you a
why
question.
I'm-
Do you have any concern about Game Russ, him coming back? Because what did he miss? 5 games?
Yeah, I said it last week. I'd rather he came back this past Sunday and played
Facts.
before he go into the playoff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would have
because of that.
preferred. Yeah, I would have preferred. I would have preferred that. Preferred that as well. Or at the very least, play like the second half or the first half. You know, he doesn't have to play the whole game, but let him get at least like a quarter or a half in. You know, just to get some game time in before the offs. You know.
Yeah, I'd have rather them played a little bit.
Yeah.
Before just to get some game action.
Because everybody, even with Lamar being at whatever, 90, 75%, he's still, with his skill set, he's still going to be a lot better than your average quarterback. He's still going to be a lot better, at 70, 80%. But the thing is, particularly because it's a playoff game and because of the way the game of football is played, it's not just as simple as him. Just like the point I was making before, it's not just a point of just bringing them in and plugging them in, and then everybody just go. There's that whole field, and that can only come through gameplay. There's only but so much you can do of that in practice. You can do some of that in practice, but gameplay you can't replicate that, and just to get that that sense of comfort, with his receivers, with his ends, so, but if he plays, I think it'll be a close game. I don't think it'll be a close game. I think whoever has the ball last, man. Whoever makes the least mistakes.
Yeah, and those are my final words right there. Pay that man.
Yeah.
That's
Let's cut the crap, Steve.
Exactly.
Let's cut the shenanigans out, Steve, man. Let's get this man his money. And let's build this thing, man. Let's build this thing. Let's get us a championship here in the next 5 to 6 years. Let's get about 2, 3 of them. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's do that. So, fellas, man, it's been a pleasure.
Okay, give a quick shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah. Neil, I know Neil has said something about that. He's a Georgia resident now, so he wanted to shout out for his Georgia Bulldogs. So shout out to Georgia for the ass whooping they put on TCU last night, man. I mean, come on, man. Damn. Did they even allow them? Did they even allow them back in Texas today?
Right.
Man.
Wow.
I mean, they should have. Hey, y'all gotta catch the bus back.
Right.
The Greyhound, and you gotta find your own tickets. We're not even buying your ticket.
Right. Man.
I mean, they were 2 points short of losing by 60 points. I mean, what kind of shit is that? In a national championship game, you lose by 60.
Yeah,
that was bad.
Damn.
I mean, it's kind of like UNLV and Duke, huh?
Man,
Yeah, that was the only difference is that I don't think that TCU got that status that Duke had, because when UNLV took out Duke, man, you know, Duke was Duke. You know what I mean?
Well, they was
Coach
on the
K.
way. They was on the way to being Duke. They was still trying because they still hadn't won nothing at that point.
They ain't win a chip yet.
Nah, they didn't win it until the next year.
That's right. Yeah.
And I definitely don't want to rehash that.
That's right.
Because Coach, it was kind of putting that stigma on Coach K that he couldn't win the big one.
Right.
Right.
Because he had been to the Final Four at least 3 or 4 other times.
That's right.
Before that.
That's right.
And a couple times in a row.
Right.
They went 88, 89, and 90.
Yeah.
And the 90 was that UNLV thrashing. And then 90. So Christian Laettner went to the Final Four every year.
Yep.
And played in 3 championship games.
Yep.
Christian Laettner had a hell of a college career.
His college career was right up there.
Yeah.
Right up there with Al Sindor and Bill Walton and all them type guys. He right up there with him, man.
Didn't make him any friends.
Nah.
No, he ain't give a shit.
He ain't care.
No,
he ain't care. That motherfucker, I hated him.
Yeah, right.
But
and you don't hate nobody like that unless they damn good.
Yeah. You don't need hating on a motherfucker sitting on the end of the bench.
No, you laughing at it.
Look at him over there. Look at him sitting over there at the end of the bench. Who he think he is?
That's just hate to be hating. That's just nasty hating.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That goddamn Christian Laettner, man. And I remember watching that Kentucky game when he stomped on my man's chest. I'm in there stomping the kid. Get him out of the game. You got to kick him out of the game. He can't do that shit.
Right.
And they came back and won that motherfucker.
Wanted to do, man.
Yeah, but TCU, man, y'all should be ashamed of yourself.
Whew.
Well, congratulations. Let me congratulate Georgia. Let me do it that way.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to do it. Congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs for winning the national championship.
Back to back.
Way they played, looked like they might could beat a couple of NFL teams.
Back to back champs at that.
Right.
I didn't really watch the game. Only saw it for maybe 2 minutes, and then I moved. That's
all you needed. That was it.
But facts. But I understand. But when I was watching, must have been one of these ESPN shows. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the Alabama coach was commentary with, and the other dude was talking about, Georgia's the top college team right now. My man's face is like, come on, man.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know who the fuck I am. Like I'm embarrassed right now.
Yeah,
I'm like this high off my seat right now. I'm like 2 feet right now. He'll be back though, man. I don't think he'll be back.
The Final Four games were great games. The 2 games they played leading to the championship with Ohio State and Georgia, and then Michigan and TCU. Both of those games were incredible games, and the national championship. Well, what can you say, man?
Yeah, and so I know they expanding the college playoff from 4 to 8. Is it 8 teams?
I think it's 8.
Is that next year or the following year? I know it's coming.
I can't remember.
I can't remember exactly when it is, but I mean, outside of like the SEC, the top teams in the SEC, maybe a couple Big Ten teams that really, really, really got a shot every year. I don't even know how they're going to do it. Like I don't pay enough attention to college football
I don't.
You know, I know that they usually get the top 4 in the final rankings. You know, is how they get the playoff teams, and even that was a little controversial with TCU losing in their conference championship, which was their first loss of the year. They was undefeated up until that point. And then, you know, it was some little crying whether or not they should even be in the championship game or into the playoffs, you know, because they lost at that point in the season. So,
man,
you know, I don't know what the right way to do it is for football. You know, they're not going to do a tournament style like basketball, and it's too many teams, but they're looking at the money. There's too much money involved for them to do a real playoff like the lower divisions do. You know, the F I don't know what FCC or whatever. The you know, the division like the Towsons, that level of football, they got a legit playoffs system. You know, where you play this round, that round, you know, and I think they have a more legit national champ, or at least in the way that like we know it from basketball with a tournament style. I don't even know how many teams get invited to that. But I would imagine it's like 30-some teams, but we'll see. We'll see. But again, shout out to Georgia Bulldogs. Congrats on winning your back-to-back championship. You know, so we'll see what's going on with these playoff games this here weekend. You know, we still don't have a lockdown day for the show that we'll do every week, but you know, try to do the show a little bit more frequently coming up here in the next few weeks. You know, NBA for us is always good. We like to talk basketball, college basketball. I don't know if we're watching as much as we used to. I did a video, pained me to do it. I don't know if y'all saw it.
George Thompson. I mean, not George Thompson. I'm sorry. Pat Ewing.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I did a little
video.
You
questioning whether he should be coach.
No, I said it's time.
It's time.
It's time to go.
Damn.
It's time for big fella to go.
Who you thinking to replace?
That's tough. That's tough, man, because and I you know, I'm in a couple of Georgetown groups and I follow, you know, some of the Georgetown shows, and it's a big topic, you know, and another problem that's you know, that's really not talked about is Ronnie Thompson, Big John's son, is got his hands all over the program. He got a role within the program, and a lot of people were saying he's a big part of the problem. Is why things are the way they are there at Georgetown.
Interesting.
And I don't know what kind of deal Big John. Of course, you know, as long as Big John was living, he was going to be a part of the program.
Right.
And he was going to have say so and who was coaching and all of that stuff.
Right.
But I don't know if Big John cut a deal, man, and said, listen, you know, my son got to be a part of this thing. You know, I don't know, but it seems like he's a problem over there too, because I was watching a show with some former players the other day, and I posed the question, what is Ronnie Thompson's role? And they both bust out laughing. And they like, yeah, well, he's the bigger part of the problem. You know, don't get us started on him. And I've heard other people say it as well. So, but as far as who to come in there at this point, you know, I don't know, man. I just want to see them back respectable. You know, I just want to see them back respectable, man. And you know, I know the old players do. You know, I talked about it with Reggie when I had him on the show, and he's frustrated, and a lot of the other guys are frustrated. They just want to see them back being the beasts of the East like they were. And I just don't know if we'll ever see that again, man. Yeah. But I'm a be a Georgetown fan. You know, I don't flip and switch. I'm gonna stick with them. You know, hopefully we'll do something at some point.
Yeah, John took all that stuff to the grave with him, man.
Yeah.
That Hoya thing that jumped off, man, with John Thompson there, you'll never see that again.
No, that's over.
That's
That's
over.
over. That's over with, you know.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Thank everybody that was tuned in. Had a few people tuned in. Kim Wanda, hey, Miss Kim, Neil, my guy Leonard Cheese was in the building. My guy Damon. Cheese checked in. Simon checked in. Remember Simon, Mr. Brooks?
Yeah,
Yeah, Simon checked in.
I saw a little message from Simon earlier.
Yeah. So Simon checked in.
It was a pleasure to hear from him.
Yeah, so you know, y'all check in, man. If you're not following the YouTube page, man, go to the Sports Mix 2021 on your YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Check out some of the videos. You can find this show there as well. We on Facebook, the Sports Mix 2021, YouTube, Facebook, IG, Twitter. We all over the place. And I also got that Cash App down there if y'all want to support the show. You know, help us grow a little bit. You know what I mean? But fellas, I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
Y'all have a good rest of y'all week. You know, find something y'all want to talk about, let me know. And we'll get it up.
Off to talk about when we come back.
For sure. Let's hope for some good games this week. And we got and Brooks, you know, work on that Rudy report. You know what I mean?
It ain't gonna be hard, man. I'm telling you, it ain't gonna be hard.
Get that free Rudy update every week.
I'm trying to tell you, man. That boy hollow.
All right, brothers. Y'all have a good one, man. Thank y'all
You
again.
too.
Everybody have
All
a
right,
good
now.
night. Peace.
All right, peace.